So, I've been dealing with a pretty interesting circumstance in regards to my schizophrenic condition personally, and it actually inspired me to have another schizophrenia tips video where I want to discuss basically what's going on with me and basically more or less what I do to combat it, right? So, I hadn't been like this or had mind chatter like this in probably, I want to say 4 years now. And for the past couple of weeks, my mind chatter has been trying to convince me that it's the only real reality again. It's been trying to assume the form of the planet that I'm on. It's trying to be anything from the government to my old friends from my hometown that I grew up in. It's trying to be everyone that I can imagine. So, how do you deal with something like this? How do you deal with something that's selling itself so well, right? How do you deal with it? Personally, it's almost like, you have to pinch yourself, right? Because it does feel like a bit of a dream. Because if people are dealing with anything like what I'm dealing with how cohesive, with how connected all of it is, for whatever reason, our brains just seem to be very good at that. And I don't know how much science there is to actually back up this side of things, but from my personal experience, there seems to be a very good connection in our schizophrenic brains and our delusional or psychotic brains that just makes it line up perfectly, right? So, yeah, basically, it's like pinching yourself, right? It's like you have to basically, if it gets as involved as it does with me, where you're forced into the interaction, right? It's an invasive hallucination or a delusional onset, right? You have to force quit, like a program on a computer, right? You have to force quit the program and just come back to whatever semblance of reality you can manage, right? You have to pinch yourself, like, pinch me, am I dreaming, right? You need to pinch yourself, right? You need to force quit the program, right? Because otherwise you're going to find yourself at the end of a very empty place, if you will, right? So, I've done it before. That's how I got to this point. And, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, despite what your hallucinations are telling you, despite what your delusions are leading you to believe, you can still force yourself to quit the thought process because it's just not worth it in the end. Because in a lot of the more, grounded delusional cases where it's like you're worried about something actually like socially, what's the word for it? Something actually that can happen, right? Socially, like something like a partner cheating on you or your kid skipping class or something, right? And it's like that stuff might honestly be happening, but it's like that's just kind of the life that we live. It's like it is still, if you lack the evidence, you're still holding on to something that's more or less delusional because you are letting yourself fall victim to your own mental blockages, I guess is the best word I can put to it, because there's a lot of different things it could be. So, I'll keep this video nice and short, because that's how I want to keep these videos, so that they're watchable. So, that's schizophrenia tips 2. How to combat a convincing delusion or hallucination. That's what this one is. So I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully there don't need to be any more, right? But you know the world we live in. See you then.